What's up? Oh, see anybody in the comments section yet? Might have a guest tonight. I know one thing. This goes out to my son. I didn't mean to be this way, son. Yes, my son, I didn't mean to be this way. I don't. So, that's for you by chance. Hello. That it says there, StreamYard. If you click on that link and follow the directions, you can get into the show. It's as simple as that. StreamYard. You go to this. If you want to join the show, it is, you click onto this. Got two links there. Either one works. You click on it, follow the directions to get into the show. Yeah, my son, I didn't mean to be this way. I'll tell you one thing while we're waiting on this. Let's look at these images, and I don't know if you can see very well, but it's really quite disturbing what I'm filming, to say the least. That's why I stopped filming again. Because every time I start filming, you get some of the most strangest freaking things you ever seen in your life. Just these ethereal beings just show up. They just show up. Anyways, yeah, some pretty weird stuff. I don't know what they are. I don't know what it is. You know, people say it's spirits or it's angels or it's demons or it's this, that. Hell if I freaking know. I just don't film it. And if you look pretty close, I mean, there's some scary looking shit. I'm not just saying that. I mean, this thing is just swirling on up. I didn't smoke. I haven't filmed. When it gets cold like this, I don't film because the breath and stuff trick you. So this is the temperature of from 50 degrees or higher. And the things I'm filming, my backyard and in town and all that, are quite disturbing. You know, it's interesting. These orbs, they coalesce to get together. They coagulate or just draw to each other like magnets, and then they inform this stuff. How does that work? I have no idea. Or are they actually forming that stuff, or is it? I mean, I don't understand it. I just don't. And why am I filming it and no one else is? Is because I'm filming. In other words, I'm putting my camera up in the sky and taking a flash and filming it. And no, it seems like there might be other people out there doing it, but they're not. I don't know about them. I'm sure there's people out there doing it. I haven't had an original thought my whole damn life. So, anyways, so he should be able, if he should be able to just get on. So, the Holofrank was supposed to join us, and maybe it's a good thing he didn't join us actually, or maybe he will join us. I hope so, but maybe it's the best thing because a Holo, as much as I like him, and I do believe that he had an encounter, not only with the Bigfoot and an angel, but I'm looking through his stuff because he's not, you know, he's got a small channel like me, you know what I mean? And I used to have a big channel until they took it all down and shadow banned the shit out of me. But these right here, these videos, this is Rick Emmerich. That's not a skinwalker. It's a skinwalker caught on a camera. No, that's Rick Emmerich. You know why I know that's Rick Emmerich? Because Rick Emmerich came to my house, right exactly where I'm sitting. Rick Emmerich came to my house and a couple of years ago and literally lied about this video. This video came out in 2017. And he swore up and down that it was legit. He really drove 2.5 hours to my place, sat down and recorded it. We got video of it. and literally lied to me right in my face. Literally. I know this is fake because Rick admitted it was fake. That's Rick. Yeah, that's right. He called the gargoyle. That's actually Rick. This is going any further. The white figure in the background is actually Rick. It's the same guy he's talking right now, who's calling his minister, right? And pranking his minister as well, right? And made a video. So what it is, he first made the video. You'll never know that it's Rick because there's a screen between his phone, the back screen, and him in the back. A lot of people figured it out, but not that many. This video has had millions of views. 2017, I even supported it. I believed it. Why did I believe it? Because I had my own encounters and I see some high strangeness. And I'm like, well, if I seen what I've seen, maybe this is real. And the way he filmed it, it was brilliant. The way he moved around and with the screen between him and his phone. And he put all this latex shit, the stuff they put on there for stage makeup and stuff like that. That's Rick. And I know that's Rick because Rick admitted it. And also the reason why he tried again back in like 2020 or 21, one of those 2 years. And he made another fake video. But before anybody else saw it, he gave it to me. How's it going there? I don't know where Halo is. Maybe he freaked out. But we're talking about a video that's on his channel, so it's very important. In fact, this video is so important to me that it's going to be my book. I'm going to have to dedicate a whole chapter to this, the whole experience, because I learned a lot about humans and people and hoaxers and so yes. So this is Rick. That's Rick. What the police are gonna think. Anyways, I supported this guy. I was probably his number one support. I believed him. Foolish enough. But the thing is, he never said it was Bigfoot. He never said it was Sasquatch. He said it was a gargoyle. He never pretended it was Bigfoot. And but I said, well, that's okay because I've seen other things. So maybe at the time I was like hardcore Christian and all that, right? By the way, he gets his minister to pray and speak in tongues and all this kind of stuff, right? And the way he acted it all out, on this way, what he did was this: is first he made the phone call to his minister and faked it and recorded it, right? Then he thought it over how he was gonna, pretend that, especially when he starts praying, he starts acting all crazy, like that, and runs away, right? And speaking in tongues and all that, and he planned that all out. So first he did the audio first, and then he did the video. And if you watch this video, and Rick Remarek, it's going to be on my book because it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant what he did, and he got millions of views. And he faked it all, and he admits it. The last time we talked, it was a live recording, well, I recorded it and then I posted it, but it wasn't live like this. And he admitted it on the phone. He said, "Yeah, I faked it all." And the reason why he confessed, because the second time when he tried it again, and he had seen what he had me. He called me first. He gave me the video, and he asked me to pray about it. Right. And he put me in the video. And when he brought the the video, it was close up this time, and there was no screen between him and his cell phone. I think it was a way of him actually kind of trying to confess that he actually faked it, right? I mean, making the video. But then he had me pray for him. But I didn't pray the way that guy did, and I didn't speak in tongues. I just said, God, help this guy out if he needs help. If he's in really bad shape, if there's really a problem, there's a gargoyle, a demon, or some evil spirit that's, hanging around his place. Yeah, help him out, in the name of Jesus and all that. That's how I did it. Right? And I said, and the thing is, it didn't work. A year later, in the beginning, this is the reason why I started doing this stuff again, is because this video, because of Rick. In the beginning of 2022, as of February, and he called and we did live recording, and he fessed the whole thing. He faked it all. You see, part of the problem is when the close up, the second video, it was clearly Rick, and the problem was too is that Rick came to my place. He drove 2.5 hours to my place and sat exactly where I'm at right now talking to you, and lied his ass off about the fact that this was real, right? And I guess, I don't know, if subconsciously, maybe he's torn, maybe feel guilty, maybe he wanted to see if he could pull it off again. Probably both. He wanted to see what had happened, but he also wanted to confess, because I think he felt a little bit bad about the fact that literally millions of people watched this video, and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, believe it's freaking real, and it's not. It's not freaking real. And I wish I was just making it all up. So maybe that's the best thing. And it's on Hallow's, YouTube page. And, I hope he takes it down. I hope he hears this and he takes it down, because, well, quite frankly, he's supporting a lie. I don't think he intended on doing that, nor did I intend on supporting, a liar. I had no idea that I gave Rick the benefit of the doubt. And the reason why I did that too, one reason I even got a hold of him, is there was another guy. I should bring him up in my story as well too. I did a lot in 2017. This guy, and I don't know if it's the right thing to say his name or not. He did have a channel. He actually got a famous audio out there that they played a lot over the years of him supposedly being attacked by some Sasquatch down in the river there, and he called the police, right? Well, this same guy ended up introducing me to Rick. He said he went over there, he checked it all out, said didn't find anything, said, would you like to talk to him? And I said, sure, why not? And there you go. There you go. And I think and the guy, it's such a sordid tale. It's such a sordid tale. And the number of people that hoax shit in this walk in life, I never thought people could even be things like that. In all honesty, I never thought that. It sounds pretty naive. Well, I knew there were people like that, but I didn't think there was that many as people. And it's an important point in this whole story, this 14 journey. Those of us that had real encounters, we got to deal with a whole lot of bullshit once that happens. And that's the essence of truth. We have to deal with a lot of bullshit. Or we do what a lot of people do, most people do, they keep their mouth shut. Because the ridicule and the potential loss of a job are all sorts of other things. The final thing I said to Rick is I called him a fucking asshole. And he thought, well, why is that? And I said, you know what? There's some of us that have actually seen stuff. And there's a hell of a lot of us that have seen stuff. And last thing we need is a whole bunch of hoaxsters out there faking this stuff. It's very heartless. It's very thoughtless, and it's mean-spirited. These guys pretend that they're actually doing it for fun, right? That's what Rick said. He said, Rick said, you know what? I pull hoax on people for the fun of it. I enjoy it. It's fun. I'm like, and he tells some stories. He tells on himself in this interview. He talks about how he pulled pranks on his friends and all that. They don't know to this day that he did that. We're talking like stuff like Bigfoot stuff, right? And scary stuff, right? It talks about a time when him and a group of his friends, they went to this cabin, and they fucker. Anyways, she's that's right. Let's just go. Where is Halo? It's crazy. I remember you saying that before. Oh, it's an important story. It's an extremely important story. I fell for it. Funker. Hey, listen, it's an extremely important story, what Rick did, and how it all played out, and what lengths people will go to literally pretend they saw a gargoyle or a Bigfoot or a dog man. And we have to be unaware about it. We have to use some common sense. We have to, especially those of us who actually know it happened. Because, for some godforsaken reason, the universe doesn't want us talking about this shit. Now, why is that? That's a very damn good question. Why is it that they don't want us talking about this stuff? Why is it they want to go so much out of the way to keep us from talking about Sasquatch or all these other things that are out there? You can say it's the government. Government probably is a part of it, but they're just an instrument. You can say it's the oligarchs, and I'll say, yeah, absolutely. But what else is going on here? I mean, it's like deeper than that. It's like it literally plays on people. It literally manipulates people, these things, whatever this is, to do some of the most really shittiest things you could think of. Like wars to start out with, right? And it goes down the list. And you're like, what the hell's wrong with people? And then literally people will spend their money and their time, their energy to fake this stuff, and literally just for this shits and giggles. It's a big joke. Well, those of us who have had experiences, we don't think it's a big joke. That's why we talk about it. Because why would we want your ridicule? Why would you want your mockery? Why would we want any of the crap that you throw at us? Why? We wouldn't want it. We don't want it. We never did want it. There's better ways of getting some attention. So what's going on here? Why is this a guy like Rick Gamarek go so out of his way to fake this strange moment in his backyard, pretending to be something he's not, and then millions of people watch it, and a whole bunch of them buy into it, like myself. It goes viral, and next thing you know, I mean, the number of people that have had their heads messed with because of this video, whether religious or not, whether you saw the thing or you didn't see a thing. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, that are just solely convinced that we're in a spiritual war, right? And I think there is such a thing going on. I don't think it's anything like what the major religions are telling us, though. And it's a war for, it's like a sick game. It's like it's whatever can be possibly done to cause an obstacle and helping each other out, especially the needy and whatever it may be. There's a million things thrown in its way for it to happen. What kind of place is this? Who the hell are we? Why do we not fit in? I mean, if we're there's just no way you can convince me that we're not hybrids. There's just no way. We don't fit in here at all. It's just like there's things out there that just want to mess with our heads and want people to see things that aren't there and not see things that are there, and on and go. And then what possesses a person to waste all their time and energy faking this stuff? I mean, there's people that spend a lot of freaking time and energy faking it. I mean, you got to plan that out. You got to think that out. You got to maybe spend the time. You know, and maybe it's only a couple of days out of a year of your life, but that's still a couple of days out of your life. And why do we buy into it? Well, you know, there's many reasons, right? There's all sorts of reasons why to buy into it or not to buy into it. You name it. When you say as far as buying into it, maybe you've seen something like me. Then you're going to start giving people the benefit of the doubt because you're looking for answers, right? And you want to understand what's going on. Maybe you know someone else has seen something and you trust them. Maybe it's just something that you just feel instinctively inside, you know, it's real. Maybe you got it from your religion and all that, right? Because it got, you know, because religion, it's got to be the demons or it's got to be angels, right? It's got to be one or the other. It can't be anything other. So we are dealing with something that's all around us. That's an absolute mystery to us. That doesn't in any way negate the fact that it's not all around us. You know what I'm saying? Soul Trap Magnus, you're absolutely right, bro. What are these things? I mean, if you pay attention to something, if you really pay attention to it, I mean, these are little dots. These are little dots. These are these little things that they make. Listen, this is not connected to a tree. That tree wasn't covered in a giant cobweb. It wasn't covered in a giant cobweb, and I wasn't smoking, and it wasn't too cold to be filming, and so, I mean, what are these things, and why are they all about? You know, it's easy to say they're all spirits or they're this that. You know, we don't know what the hell these things are. Then we start finding out about things like the living plasma, sentient plasma. I mean, it's not me making it up. It's people who are that work on plasma engineers and physicists and plasma and all this kind of crap, and they swear to God it has a thought of its own. Figurative speaking on the swear to God part. Okay, now listen. This is something to really think about what I'm saying, because we're dealing with stuff. I mean, look at this. It just swirls up, and it's got like you can see the brows on it. You can see the mouth and the teeth. It's like a real sinister looking thing. If you're still here, JT, that's same location that. Oh God, our friends from California just forgot. Please forgive me. I'm a little bit thinking 20 different things. Our friends in California, JT, who are they? The wife and the husband, they have two different TikTok channels. Her. Oh, I feel so embarrassed now. I feel so embarrassed. Anyways, she's the one. She gave a like some kind of reading on your show. Remember that? Yeah, Clan and Ann, and she said be careful of what's on the northwest corner of my place, and this is the shit I'm filming in the north corner of my place. I mean, you can see the dots. It's not. This is. These are these. It's almost like these things we call orbs that just consolidate or coagulate or they just consolidate and come together. No, maybe I'm making more of it than it actually is. Maybe, but to me, I'm seeing something that's a little more freakier than maybe most people are seeing. That's because I have spent a lot more time looking at things. And then I know I'm reading Abominable Snowman by what's his face. So I'm reading this from Ivan T. Sanderson, and I strongly recommend you read this book. And this book was written 60 plus years ago. 60 plus years ago. And there's so much insight and information once you get past the kind of haughty-toddy language and being a journalist that he was, he had to use every damn word in the English dictionary. But regardless of that, and he talks a lot about, all places where you're at, JT. He talks a lot about British Columbia and the places that you talk about. But it's the Abominable Snowman legend come to life, and the stories and the realization that he's 60 years ago realized that there was something deeper going on, something bigger going on. And this guy his scientific background, and in particular, although he's a journalist, he's a very intelligent man, but he dealt with nature. I think he's a zoologist or something like that. He did a lot of filming of, and he went to a lot of different places, right, in the world, making these wildlife movies and stuff like that. If I've got my information right. Regardless of the fact, he had a scientific background, and he has a very, very brilliant mind, and he's talking about this stuff, and he's bringing up these stories. Do you know, people don't even know this, but in 1884, and we're in British Columbia, of all places, there was alleged, the very first time alleged that a Sasquatch was captured. There's some guys working on the railroad trucking along, somewhere around something Yale. Is it Yale, Alberta, or something like that? Is that what it is, JT? Wherever Yale is. And if I got that even, yeah, I think it's Yale. Anyway, some stop, and they see this thing on the side of the tracks, and they slam on the brakes. They said, thank goodness they didn't have a lot, because that's a good way to have a derailment. And they come out and they chase them up this cliff and capture the thing. And they have a report of one being captured back in 1884. And of course, where's the body? Everyone says. Well, that's a damn good question. What did happen to that thing? What happened to it? There's multiple witnesses that said it happened. They captured the thing. The thing was injured already. Somehow it got hurt some way, somehow. Not a big one. I don't think it was before, it was 4 foot something. So it wasn't an adult Sasquatch. Right? Covered in blood, they said. Now they shot him, but they were talking about all the wounds didn't come from the shot. Oh no, they didn't shoot him. What they did is they threw a rock on him. That's what they did. One of them climbed up above where it was up in that cliff, and he threw a rock on his head and hit him. I don't know, must have hit him on his noggin or whatever, knocked him out, right? So he had a bit of bleeding from that. But he had this Sasquatch had scars all over it. Like something happened. It was in a fight or fell off a cliff, or who the hell knows what happened, right? And they capture it and put it in one of the cars, and they haul up to the next station, and next stop, I should say, and we're talking about this thing, and it's got wounds and all that, and it's all covered with hair, and it looks kind of human-like. In fact, it looks really human-like. Like it doesn't look apish. It looks like a human, like a human being, a person, but really hairy. Has some strange feet too, but it's extremely strong, extremely long, longer arms than normal, right? I think they try to take care of it and imagine it probably just passed away. There's rumors of people finding these bones and shipping off to other museums. They're just rumors. Odds are probably didn't none of that happen, right? But there's reports and reports of uh, massive giant ones. I mean, the one I saw, the first one I saw, I mean, I'd be shocked if it was only 8 or 9 feet in the middle of a freaking town. And they come in different sizes. And you're hearing reports all over the place of some that are freaking massive giants, and some are small, like the size of freaking children. And they're not just in the United States. It's not just it's in the United States or Canada. The reports that they have in China and in Russia and in India and in every other damn place, Africa, Central and South America, and there are all these different hairy beings, these different types, and you're like, you know what? There's something more going on here than meets the eye. How is it that these things can come in and come out? How is it they can just escape? You can only go so long with the argument that it's they're they are cloaking themselves. There's more going on. There's more going on. Yeah, Jacko. Yes, Yale, BC. There you go. So that's what he's confirming. JT is confirming. You don't have join me if you have. What the heck? You're there anyways. Just join me. What's the name? So it's Jacko is the name of it. Yeah, they claim that they died on a ship on its way. Yeah, well, it could be the case. I haven't got to, I think I'm only page 120 on this book, so it's like almost 400 pages, 370 pages, something like that. Anyways, he does a great job, Ivan Sanderson's, and letting people know that, for at least at that time, this 1960, 62, when I think it was published, that for at least that he knew of, 80 years there's been reports of seeing this stuff. That was 1960. Now we're 60 years plus, and there's a lot more reports. You have to weed through the hoaxes. Then you have to get those ones that are halfway decent, and then you got to understand that half of them are going to be hoaxes too, most likely. For some damn fucking reason, people need to. It's okay, man. For some damn reason, people feel they need to hoax this stuff. Or something's inspiring them to hoax this stuff. And then there's another question that people don't think much about. What if something else is actually doing the hoaxing? It's not even human. So, the Occam's razors only go so far when it comes to this stuff. This high strangeness, these Freudian moments, these anomalous moments that have been repeat and have been a part of our human history since we can remember and we record. We're talking all these things that people talk about, right? But nobody wants to go to the next level for some reason. They feel like they need to be part of a group or a camp instead of the pursuit of the truth. Hey, listen, there's all sorts of weird things happening. How do these things just materialize and dematerialize? How do they end up seemingly in flesh? I mean, I just read a report this from the book of a young man who there was one of these more monkey type things, and he put frickin' 13 shells into it. Not a drop of blood. Not a drop of blood. Only one bullet hole, and he thought that's the one that missed. He shot 14 rounds, and that one went into the tree. He said, "You know what? If if I would have missed that stuff, or if that wasn't there, there would have been a hell of a lot more bullets in that tree than just that one." And that thing, he said, it just swung away, and he could hear it crashing through the trees and hear the leaves, and not a drop of blood. He looked all over, couldn't find it. He tried to tell his friends, right? He was a teenager, right? I think he might have been maybe 12, 14. Can't remember. The fact of the matter is, he tried to tell his friends, they all made fun of him. They all didn't believe it. Then he looked back and couldn't find a damn thing. But he saw that damn thing. And he saw so much that he shot 14 rounds at it. Now you can say, well, I don't believe him. And it's okay. I believe him because I have my own experiences. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's not around anymore to defend himself one way or the other because it happened a long time ago. 14 rounds and not a drop of blood. And he says, "There's no way I missed that stuff." He's a squirrel hunter. If you can peg a squirrel for your 22, he shot 22s, by the way, shells. But still, that's 14 rounds. There should have been some kind of blood, or that thing got pissed off, or something should have happened. And all it did, he said, it just stood there. It just sat there as he put round after round after round in him. Now that goes right over everybody's heads because it doesn't fit your world paradigm. But I'm sorry to disappoint you. There's a whole lot of high strangeness with this stuff, and it ain't going to fit in any camp. And no matter how you try to pigeonhole this stuff, it ain't going to work. And it's going to piss a lot of people off for me saying that. And only a few people, I think, are even designed or even capable of pursuing the truth. Most people just want to hear enough of a soundbite, just enough so they can be convinced that they were right all along. Well, I went out this journey 6 years ago to prove this stuff was nothing but a hoax. And I'm finding out that it's far more than just some freaking hoax, or this flesh and blood, or woo and all that. This is far more complicated than anybody can even imagine. And that's something nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to hear for some damn reason. Somebody doesn't want me talking about it or anybody else talking about it. Now, you can talk all day long and say it's a flesh and blood thing, and you can talk all day long and say one scary story after another. That's perfectly fine. In fact, you can talk about what a monster this Sasquatch is. And you know what? For some reason, it's an open pipeline for you. You can say, or you can talk to every freaking show there ever is about how scary the moment was and what happened and the smell and this, that, and the other, right? But obviously nothing happened to you, that person who's talking about all this scary story, because they're still around. So we have some problems here with the inconsistencies of the message. Somehow somebody or something wants to demonize these things. Now, and if it's true, it's interesting enough that wiser and smarter guys than myself figured it out long ago, decades ago, when it comes to the story of Jacob and Esau, that Esau is no fucking human being. And that was an allegory about a war that's been going on. And guess who we've been at war with? These things. And we've been slowly taking them out one by one because they're a threat to us. At the bare minimum, they're a threat to us physically. But I think there's something else going on here too. Because something is joining in the games. Something's enjoying this stuff. Something wants this stuff to happen. Something wants us not only to take out these things, but take out each other. all I gotta say is this stuff is far more bizarre than you could even imagine. And if you're gonna go down this road and you're gonna be serious about this stuff, you better be man or big enough a man or big enough woman to actually go all the way, or you will be part of the problem. You will be part of the problem. I would just forewarn anybody, even to my best and closest friends in this stuff, that we always remind each other and about ourselves and about anybody else who's out there. We hear it all the time. No one's an expert. I think there is some people that are pretty much experts about this stuff, but you know what? We haven't listened to them yet. But this whole thing, you got to ask some questions. Why? Now I can understand why there's just guys. Well, it's a formula to get some ratings and viewings. Listen, it's more than that. I mean, listen, even the height, the most popular of these Bigfoot channels, they're not making like massive bucks. Maybe the one is out of like one. Let's put it this way: the thousands of channels out there to talk about this stuff one way or the other, there's maybe 1 in 100 that makes any money off this stuff. And if you're a serious researcher or anything like that, you're not going to, there's a good chance all you do is lose money and friends and a whole bunch of other stuff. So this is not something for the weak-hearted, and this is not something for the faint. This is something that's either some of you really want to know the truth or not. But this is going to lead you into such things as physics, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, plasma, science of plasma physics. Who would have fucking a million years thought I'd ever be interested in that? And then you start realizing how there's a strong connection with these things and UFOs and aliens. And you tell this stuff to people and they all think you're fucking crazy. But the thing is, you're telling them the truth. You're telling them the truth. By really brilliant men and women have researched this before us. And what we're doing is right now. And they're saying there's a strong connection with all of this. But we don't want to hear about that, right? We don't want to hear about consciousness because that's a big part of this whole thing too. What we would prefer to have is just tell everybody that it's just a mass hallucination, right? People are delusional. They're crazy. And let's move on with things. I got to deal with my life, gosh darn it. I got to put food on the plate, and I got to make sure there's roof over my head and my children's head. I got other things to worry about. If I'm even close to anything that I'm saying is true, then how is it that we could even say that? Which I'm pretty confident that, and this is not about a religious thing. This is not a belief thing. This is something that I've been researching and experiencing and filming and everything else. There's something else deeply going on here. I'm not telling you that it's heaven and hell. I'm not telling you that these are demons. I'm not telling you these are angels. I'm just telling you there's something going on around us. Now, either it's going to be one of the most interesting new sciences that there ever was, that has been hijacked by the occult, by religion, by pseudoscience, and it's going to offer up some amazing, well, who knows, truths about our reality, the bare minimum. Something that's equivalent to what we find in the bottom of the oceans, miles deep. And there's still life. Then what else is going on around us as well? What are these things? Because they sure the hell ain't my breath from my mouth. I wasn't smoking a cigarette. It's not from the car because there was no car running. It wasn't from any house because there was no fire or burning. There was no fire pit. There was none of that stuff. And this is the shit that I film. I filmed the stuff in the trees. I've seen Sasquatch go in and out of a tree, but more than just Sasquatch. And I'm just thinking to myself, what the hell's going on? And what is it this trees have to do with this stuff? And I call them the neurons of the world. And I know I'm very repetitive about this stuff, but you got to think about this stuff seriously. Because if we're dealing in 99% of the universe is allegedly plasma, and if trees are some kind of vortex or some kind of battery or some kind of neuros, part of the nervous system of this place, and if our elders are correct about the fact that there is underworld and there's a middle world, which we're at, and an upper world, and this realm that we live in, then we need to maybe think a little more closely about this. To realize we've only gone, what, this max, I've heard it from 8 to 12 miles deep. Who the hell know what the right number is? And with the new technology we have, which I can't think of it offhand right now, but they can penetrate as deep as maybe about 500 miles into the earth. After that, we have no idea what the fuck's under there. We have no idea what's under there. We were told our whole lives there's supposed to be this molten ball of magma, but we don't know that. We don't know that. We've never been there. We've never seen it. We don't have any evidence for it. Yeah, there's something that could be something like that, and we can speculate it, but we don't know that. So what is under us? And then if we don't really know what's under us, and we look at what's been going on above us, and we've been told a whole bunch of shit that most from people that have been lying to us our whole lives, what is it that we're actually that's above us? If you understand how the world works, the world leader is not here to tell you the truth. We're here to do the complete opposite. They're not here to tell you the truth. They don't want you to know the truth. That's dangerous to them. So that's the human level. And then what is around us that wants us to all to be so ignorant about what's going on around us? Or do they even want us to be that way? Instinctively, you and I, we both know there's something wrong with this place. It's all tied in. It's just what happens when you get way beyond. Once you have an encounter with Sasquatch and the elementals and the spirit realm, guess what? You're not going to buy into a lot of stuff anymore, because you know what? When you start hearing the same people laugh about this stuff, and then they're telling you about what this universe is, I'm going to be going, yeah, I know you're not telling me the truth. Now, either you don't know you're not telling me the truth, or you're deliberately deceiving me. And I think that I think it's a combination of things. The vast minority of people actually have no idea that they're spreading bullshit. The vast majority doesn't have a clue. And so if something has to happen to you, and then you start waking up to this reality of these things, and you start really questioning things, and you start seeing instead of running from it, you know what I mean? This is the key. You need to stop running from it. You need to stop running from the reality that surrounds you and face it head on. Be courageous and face it head on, right? Listen, forget about Hollywood and forget about what you think a hero is. That's not even close to reality. It's a day-to-day thing in which you're constantly questioning and challenging not only what you believe, but what other people believe around you. And you keep asking questions, right? And then you have to get to the point where you actually are brave enough to say, I really don't care if you don't like me, or you don't, I you know what I mean? But not because I don't care about the person that doesn't like me. It's just I can't worry about it. I need to move forward. This is killing me. If I keep on worrying about what you think about me, I mean, all this just is use that as an excuse for me ensnaring myself, stopping myself. And so you decide, you say, you know what, I'm going to face this stuff head on. I'm going to get honest about this stuff. I'm going to start reading about this stuff. I'm going to start reading about this reality. I'm going to start looking at the things, the light and the darkness, the left path and the right path. They'll say the best path is the middle path, but is that even the case? How does anybody know? Does it work? How is there any evidence of the going the middle path and working? And then you start learning about the left path, and then you start seeing the people and what they claim, and you see that everyone that's claiming whether they're on the right path or the left path are actually on the left path. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just a revolving door. It's just a closed loop. It's an endless circular reasoning, or at least the left path. The same people that they're all, say condemning Satan are are the people following Satan. It's bizarre. How did this all start out? How did this become? And don't think you have a clue from your little Bible. You don't have a clue what you're talking about. That's part of the snare. That's part of the trap. And so we have this situation going on, right? We got the stuff around us. People are seeing Bigfoot. People are seeing aliens. People are actually seeing UFOs. People are seeing orbs. People are seeing real physical, solid images our craft. Not just seeing it; they're actually have possession of it. At the same time, people are seeing holographic images, and then you got to deal with it. Okay, so it's all the military, but then you realize it can't be all the military. And it goes on and on and on, and you just realize there's layer upon layer upon layer of all these different tentacles, these institutions, these things that have been created to deceive you. And you're like, what the fuck? Who am I supposed to believe in? And then the shocking thing happens. You start believing in yourself. Because that's the only thing that you really can count on. I think there's so many dimensions. If you're still around, bro, there's so many dimensions. There's more dimensions than people can even imagine. There is no number on it. How do these things pop in and out? Which ones are actually part of another dimension? And which are some that are actually part of this actual physical realm, but are more in the plasma range? It goes on and on and on. How many of these are spirits? As people actually say they're spirits. They're all actual authoritative, and they know, and they absolutely know. And then you listen to them, and you're waiting for those nuggets of truth, and you realize they've read it in the book just like all the rest of us. They really don't know what they're talking about. The only way you're going to know about anything you're talking about, it's true or not, is if you can do it, you can demonstrate it, you can experience it, whatever. That's the only way you know. Words on the page do not confirm it. So even though, I'm not discouraging people not to read my book, but I hope if you do read a book, you realize that's what I'm trying to tell you is you need to start doing this on your own. You need to start freaking filming this shit. You need to stop and stop worrying about what other people think about you. It'd be fascinating to see what would happen if people throughout the night, and everybody agreed in some town that they said, you know what? Whenever we're going to spend, everybody's going to agree that every night they just take at least a dozen pictures with their new digital phones and the cameras. And everyone did that and consolidated and things that they filmed. And as long as they're people that you can trust and not faking it, because you got to deal with that too. But if you can find a group of people that are not going to try to fake it, good luck on that. But it'd be wonderful. It's just a pipe dream. It's just a fantasy. But just imagine, say there's a group of people, 50 people, and they're all reliable and honest, and they all aim the cameras up in the town, and they start filming this stuff. I think it'd be one of the most revolutionary things that have ever happened. Why is that? Because people will start being able to document the truth that not only there are orbs in the sky and UFOs, but a whole bunch of this stuff in the sky. There's so much in the sky, it's ridiculous. And you don't have to aim your camera to the moon to start finding this stuff. And you don't have to film very high. You got Brown Dwarf, he's filming these jelly-like fish things with tentacles and stuff like that. Now, maybe he's faking it. I don't think he's faking it. That'd be quite questionable. If it is, there's a couple things. He's filming a lot of this stuff, so maybe it's a balloon every time and he's just faking it, which says a lot about how, I mean, there's a lot of sick motherfuckers out there, so it could be, but I don't believe it because I look into this, I look closer into those images and the films. I know right now he's just it's kind of a distance. So if you don't have a software package and you can't zoom in on it and break it and bring it in closer, you'll never notice. But when you look into it, you're like, there's something fucking going on floating out in the sky, and it has nothing to do with UFOs. I mean, you can call one unidentified aerial phenomena, or you want to call them, whatever it may be. But you know what? At the end of the day, there's something going on that our cameras are able to read, but we can't see with our own eyes. Why is it that at times people are filming Bigfoot or something that looks like Bigfoot or something like that, but they didn't know they filmed it? And other times they'll have flat out frickin' encounter, it'd be right in front of their face, and they don't have the camera. It's just very convenient, you see. It's very convenient to just say, well, that's because everyone's hoaxing and just making up stuff, and they're crazy, or they're delusional. But the problem is you do more and more of this stuff and you realize, no, there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye. And for some reason, we can't get together and face this and do something about it. And a big part of it is because people are afraid of what other people are going to say about them. And, you have a good reason for that. It started this whole thing with the hoaxer, right? Rick. And synchronicity is brilliant. I know of Holofrank, and he shared his story, and we've talked on TikTok. But I never knew about his YouTube channel until today, when he subscribed to my channel. And then I subscribed to his channel. And lo and behold, there it is. And it's a reminder to me that I need to get back to writing my book, because there's things that need to be told to people. And somebody needs to be willing to look like the madman so that things can move forward. Someone has to be willing to fall on their sword. It's easy just to play the game. Get some crumpets, get some crumbs from the floor of your master's table. Really? It's just crumbs. That's not a meal. You're still starving. So why not just go all the way with this stuff? Because what's the worst that's going to happen? People aren't going to like it. Well, who cares? You get used to it. That's what I had to do. That's what a lot of people have done this stuff. I get to do. If you actually read what Ivan Sanderson's talking about, he's had to go through his own fair share of fucking abuse. And you're going to ask questions, you're going to piss people off, but you need to do it. Why do you do it? Not to prove the other person wrong, but to find the truth. And unfortunately, part of the process, and all this, is that in the journey to find the truth, you're going to find a lot of people that are lying to you. They're making up stuff. And then there's going to be a lot of people that are going to tell you the absolute truth. This is going to get to, this is how it always gets. It gets to the point where you don't even know, unless from basic experience and a few other things, whether someone is telling you the truth or not. So you throw up your hands and you give the benefit of the doubt, right? And the vicious circle continues and continues and continues. And it's like this machine that we all live under. And we can blame it all on ourselves. And that's fine if you want to blame it on humanity. But I can clearly see there's something manipulating and messing with humanity. We live in an existence that we're comfortable with. It's called a prison. And we don't even realize that we could have it much better if we just wake up. Much better. How would that be? When we all got honest with ourselves and each other, things would drastically change. But we think that this has to be something about pointing the finger at the other guy and constantly being at war with other people and see, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar. Hey, listen, we're all fucking liars. We can't help but be fucking liars. We were brainwashed to be freaking liars. It takes these kind of moments and these kind of anomalous events and super high strangeness and spiritual, you name it, for us to start waking up, it seems. And they just give you enough, but it seems like it all depends on who you are, how you're wired. But if you can get to the point where you realize not to be afraid of this stuff, but face it head on, to be courageous warriors, soldiers for the truth and for your own sake, and say, I'm not going to be afraid of this stuff. So what if these things are all around me? So are a whole bunch of birds and rodents and insects and all sorts of shit around me, right? So, so maybe there's nothing more than that. Or maybe it's a combination of things in which there's something else that's stronger than this next level of reality, if you will, of these things that we call angels and Bigfoot and spirits and all that. We start to discover this stuff. We start to see a bit of piece of it. And there's something that's on the other side that's using this to distract us from going to the next level or going to the right direction. These are important questions. And, if a person knocks you down for asking questions, that says something about that person, not about you asking the questions. I'm not telling you what the reality of this place is anymore. That I can tell you what I think it is, but I have absolutely no idea. And I also know, because all the time I put into this, that there's very few people who actually do. We're in a pickle. We're in an extreme pickle. We're in an extreme pickle. We're in this extreme pickle. And son, as I said, I never meant to be this way. All I ever wanted is what every other guy ever wanted. What more can a person say? What more can a person say?
Free.